What's going on, everybody? I decided to make this video to show off my gaming PC, but also to show what is, in my opinion, the best custom build that you can make for right around $1,250. So this video is for anybody looking to buy a budget build or looking to build their first PC. It's great for that. I apologize in advance for talking so quickly. It's just how I made the first part of the video. I have to talk very quickly because the video clips go by fast, but I will slow down later when I get to the gameplay. So without further ado, I'm going to start out with the case here, which is a Rosewheel Blackhawk ATX mid-tower case. This is a $90 case, and for $90 this is a fantastic case. It's very spacious. It looks ridiculously cool, as you'll see later. This is the power supply. This is an XFX Pro Series 750 watt power supply. It is silver rated, it's semi-modular, and it's only $100, and XFX is top of the line when it comes to power supplies. This is the graphics card. This is an MSI GeForce GTX 760. The 760, I cannot applaud the 760 enough. It is such a good card, and MSI makes really good cards, particularly because of their cooling solution. The Twin Frozer cooling solution is fantastic. It's very quiet, and it keeps my card really cool. This card is, you have to go above 65 degrees Celsius under full load. This is the RAM. Corsair Vengeance, low profile, 8 gigabytes. That's all you need. Simple stuff. Blah blah blah. CPU cooler. You need a good CPU cooler if you're going to overclock. This is a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. Great cooler for the money, and it's cooling an AMD FX 8350 4 gigahertz 8-core processor. Best CPU for the money. $175. Bottom line, best CPU for the money. This is the SSD that I use. It's a Kingston HyperX 3K 120 gigabyte SSD. It loads Windows 8.1 up in about 18 seconds, so it's quite fast. This is the secondary hard drive that I use. This is a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte drive. It's just for storage, whatever. Wi-Fi card, Rosewheel N900 PCE for $30. This is a fantastic Wi-Fi card. I get really good internet connection. These are just the antennas to that Wi-Fi card. It's a great Wi-Fi card. Back to the case. This case comes pre-installed with 5 fans. This is one of them. This is at the back of the case. That's a 120. This is a blue 140 millimeter fan pre-installed at the top. These are two 120 millimeter fans, also blue, at the front. And there's also a 120 that's pre-installed in the side panel, but I took it off because of the CPU cooler complicating things, blah blah blah. These are the front panel connectors. You can look at those. Really good. This is a hard drive dock. Hard drive dock's basically a thing where you can plug a hard drive in directly into the PC, and it's kind of like a giant flash drive. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. This is the optical drive that I use. It's just a standard ASUS DVD drive. It's only like 20 bucks. Not much to say about that. The motherboard that I got is a Gigabyte GA990FXA UD3 ATX motherboard. Great motherboard for the money. Talk more about it later. This is the monitor that I use, an ASUS VS247H-P. I will talk more about this later because there's a lot to talk about it. It's quite thin, as you can see right there. It looks very sleek and it looks good. This is the mouse that I use. It's a Cooler Master Storm Zornet. It's only 25 bucks and it feels great. Keyboard that I use is a Microsoft Sidewinder X4. It's only 50 bucks, and it's a great gaming keyboard for that price. It's really cool and backlit like that. These are the cheapo speakers that I use. I don't really use speakers a lot. I use headphones, but if you want to look at them, there they are, Logitech's. But I usually use that, which is a Turtle Beach P11 headset. I plan on upgrading this quite soon to some Razer headphones and probably a Blue Snowball microphone. So this is what the case looks like when the lights are off. It looks really cool. That's the blue LED on the top. It just looks ridiculously cool. Those are the two blue LEDs at the front, and the operating system that I use is Windows 8.1, which is a fantastic operating system. So for the price for all this is $1,330 or $1,377, but that's with all the peripherals. Without the peripherals, it's like 1,100 bucks. So really good. All right, so this is just some gameplay footage that I recorded here. This is Contagion. I'll move on to some DayZ later on, but I just wanted to slow down and be able to talk about some specific aspects of the PC a little bit more. So back to the case. The Rosewheel Blackhawk mid-tower case is probably the best case out there for $90, right in that price range. It just got exceptionally good features. All the front panel connectors are great. It looks really cool. It's very spacious. It's got 8 expansion slots, so you can fit up to 4 graphics cards, I believe, in this case, which is really cool if you want to do that. And it comes with 5 pre-installed fans, which is really impressive. And those fans really help to keep your inner components cool. I think that's another reason why my components are very cool under full load. So yeah, I highly recommend the Rosewheel Blackhawk mid-tower case. It's a great case. Back to the power supply. The power supply is the most important component in the PC. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, because the power supply gives power to everything, and if it fails, there's a chance that everything in the PC will fail with it. So you cannot skimp on a power supply. The power supply that I brought here is an XFX one. XFX is supposed to be top of the line, right next to Seasonic. Apparently, XFX power supplies are made with the same sort of components that Seasonic uses to make their power supplies, and Seasonic is true top of the line. So XFX is pretty much just as good as Seasonic. So I highly recommend getting an XFX power supply or a Seasonic one. Those are the top 2 brands that I would recommend. Back to the MSI 760. The MSI cards are really good. Asus cards are also quite good. But one of the main things you want to look into when getting a GPU is how cool that card is going to run. And the MSI cards run really, really cool. The twin Frozer cooling is great. Like I said, my card does not go above 65 degrees. Has never gone above 65 degrees under full load in fairly intensive games like Battlefield 3, Skyrim, Nether, Metro Last Light, and some other intensive games. DayZ not so much, because DayZ is a really CPU intensive game. But yeah, the MSI 760 is a great card. The 760 is just a great card in general. It's such a good card for the money, and I highly recommend if you're building a budget build and have that sort of $250 graphics card budget. It's a great card for that amount. The RAM, not much to say about the RAM. Corsair is one of the best brands of RAM. Kingston also makes good RAM. G-Skill makes good RAM, but 8 GB is all you need for gaming. If you wanted to do some more video editing, you could upgrade to 16, but really 8 GB is all you need for gaming. The CPU cooler, if you're going to overclock the CPU, which I plan on doing in the future, you need a decent CPU cooler, and the Hyper 212 Evo is a fantastic cooler for only $30. It's an air cooler. I much prefer air cooling over water cooling, because water cooling kind of scares me, and I don't know a lot about it, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just sounds like too much of a risk having some sort of liquid in your computer that always has some sort of chance to rupture and destroy all your expensive components. So I stick to air cooling, and the Hyper 212 Evo manages to keep my FX 8350 at very good temperatures. In the most CPU intensive games like DayZ, it goes up to 50 degrees Celsius, but in most games it sticks right around the 45 degree Celsius range, which is really good. The 8350 is the best CPU for $170. It is just a fantastic CPU, and I highly recommend getting it if you're on a budget build. It is basically the equivalent. It basically has an equal amount of power as something like a low end, or not really a low end, more like a mid end i7, like a 2600K. A lot of people say that the 4670K is the better option than the 8350, and it is in many cases, but the 8350 beats the 4670K in as many games as the 4670K beats the 8350 in. So it's really just a matter of how much money you're willing to spend. If you want to save $100, go ahead and get the 8350, but if you want a little bit more power in some games, get the 4670K. Yeah, I don't really care. The 8350 is the best processor for $170, bottom line. SSD, not much to say about that. You need a good SSD if you want to load up Windows quickly and load games quickly. Kingston HyperX 3K is a fantastic one. Highly recommend it. It's pretty cheap. The motherboard, the Gigabyte motherboard that I use. Gigabyte is a very good maker of motherboards. I have not had any issues with the one that I own so far, and the one that I own is capable of overclocking the 8350. So that's another reason why I bought it, and it was $120. So it's a perfect fit for my components. It should work just fine. What else? Oh, the monitor. The monitor it's a 23.6-inch monitor, so it's got a nice big screen that I can play games on. It's got no input lag whatsoever. The picture quality is exceptional, and for only $150, this monitor is really good. I believe it has a response time of 2 ms, which is very fast. That's what I've heard, and it's just a great monitor for $150. The mouse is great. It's a very comfortable mouse that Cooler Master Storm's on it. It's just as good as like any $80 mouse that you might get, but it's obviously way cheaper. And I believe that's about it, guys. So that should conclude this video. If you have any questions about any really specific parts of my PC, please feel free to leave a comment and ask me. And I think that's about it. So, I just died there in DayZ. That's sad. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.